The industry perspective is a space for those in the industry to speak freely about their experiences without fear of retaliation or a negative review. The views and opinions shared here are solely that of the individual and do not reflect the establishments in which they work. With that said, if you feel offended by these jokes, fuck it. We weren't expecting to get tipped by you anyway.
Maybe. Bro, talking to your fucking mic.
Oh, hey, yo.
Cheers. Salute.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, Bicho.
Salute.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers.
Salute. Salute.
for having us.
Oh, God.
So,
Boom.
All right, one,
I
two,
just noticed that
three.
you did
Let's go.
something.
You got tapped down.
You tap. You know
that's
what
good.
that is though, right? Like tapping to the house.
Oh, yeah. I think somebody was telling me. I think they were explaining that at some point.
That was good, Nando.
Well, thank you guys for coming to the industry perspective. Welcome to another episode of the podcast where we peel back the curtain and give you an insight into what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite restaurant and or bar. We like to call that the industry perspective.
Perspective. Yeah.
Huzzah, bitches. Today we got some great guests with us today that work at Redacted with myself. We have the chef team, the back of house.
Thank you.
We got a whole back of house team with us today.
Woo, woo.
Starting from my right, we got Will.
Yo.
Next to him is Bicho, aka Luis. We got Frank, and we got Joey. Welcome, gentlemen.
I love
Thank you.
Bicho, aka Luis.
No, like Bicho is what everybody knows you as, and then Luis is just like, oh, okay, that's his government, I guess.
for having us.
Yeah.
Right? Those are real names that our family gives us in there, right?
And then,
I think everyone gets, a nickname in there. If you don't come with one,
yeah.
I think most likely you end up leaving with one.
Right. What's your street name? What's your nickname?
Honestly, nobody has given me a nickname ever. Everyone just calls me Will. Everyone just calls me Will.
Oh, shit.
That's Little Willie right there.
Little Willie. Oh,
because
shit.
It's because when Will works,
Little Willie is at home. Little Willie is at home.
it's when Will works, we have the will to live.
Well, welcome you guys. Pleasure having you all. It's basically just a podcast where we just kind of talk about shit about what goes on in the restaurant. I'm just like an icebreaker. One thing that we usually talk about is your red flags. Like your red flags either with coworkers, the front of house. Let's start with this. What are y'all red flags with like the front of house staff?
I would say one of the red flags would be just in our redacted location is just I would say getting people to actually run the food. It's just most likely, and like because we end up refiring a lot of stuff or throwing stuff away, and I think it's just the perspective of how the time and the work that we put into creating the dish, and then for not to be ran and then creating that dish again.
Yeah,
It's just it's just kind of the concept of okay, you know what, like respect the hard work, and then just it's like we'll respect you too, right? Like like I know you guys have a lot of times like stuff that is 911 on the fly, and we do our best, right, to accommodate that. So it's just it's like you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Or take it.
Funny thing about my back is it's on my balls. Moving on.
Hey, take it a step further though. How about when they need it right away, we substitute the item, you turn around to give it to them, and they're gone.
Oh shit!
How about that?
Yeah,
that actually happens at the fucking bar a lot too.
Dude,
like they'll ask for their beer.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The other day, I turned around. They wanted a sear, but there was a whole bunch of other mods. So I go do it really quickly because it was really simple. I come back around, and I'm just like, where in the hell did this person go? How'd they disappear that fast? I was like, was I talking to Batgirl?
Like who the fuck? So she asked for the mod. You did it immediately, and then it just disappeared. Yeah. No, that same shit happens at the bar, like, cause like our thing is beer, and we need like the head to be just right in terms of like that foam. And so as soon as I pour it, you need to take it to the table, and so people stay asking for the beer and then walk away. By the time anyone comes back, the head's dead, and now I gotta like fuck with it to kind of get the foam back up. And it's like, yeah, so like A lot of front of houses don't have like that kind of awareness. It's kind of like stay focused on one thing at a time and actually, follow through on the things that they ask y'all for. What about you, Frank?
Oh, I'm going next. Okay. Yeah. So for me, the red flag is, I mean, I don't really know a lot of the front of house, so
You should get to know them.
I
Not like that.
I didn't say that. He did. My girlfriend's gonna watch it. No, they. I say they because a lot of our female staff are the ones that don't really talk. They're very shy. They're very standoffish, kind of. So the red flag is just whenever I try to talk to them or even look at them or cross paths with them, they just look down, and I just like walk forward or like whatever. Like we have to work together, you know?
Yeah.
Especially a lot of people in the bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a huge like.
Oh, the bar team be like not acknowledging?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh shit!
It wasn't until actually yesterday. Yeah.
Well, you got beef with one bartender.
I do have beef with one bartender.
How is that?
I do have beef with one bartender. I don't want to get into details, but she came at me sideways, and I straight up called her a bitch, but not to her face. But I was like, "Yo, who the fuck does this person think she is? Like, why you acting like a bitch?"
Oh
And,
no!
yeah, it became like a whole ordeal, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been nice since, but like it's the beef is still very rare.
yeah. And
It's
no,
still
no
cooking.
disrespect to the bar team. Like I fucking love most of y'all besides that situation.
Yeah.
And ever since then, though, but by the way, ever since then, I've tried to have a conversation, and we've actually walked past.
Yeah.
And like I've even bumped to her, and I was like, "Hey, like sorry," and kept going. So I was like, "Okay, cool. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. It's fine."
Nah,
And
Frank brought like the tahine cucumber to the bar, and this particular person they like cucumber and tahine. And she was like, "Oh, this is dope." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Yeah, the homie Frank brought it." She's like, I was like, "Oh shit!"
No
like, the
way.
beef is
You know
still
what?
cooking.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna fucking start bringing it even more
No.
on her shift. I'll be like, "¿Quieres?" Because I know she speaks Spanish.
Yeah. Oh shit!
For the longest time though, I thought she was a white girl.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know.
No way.
I don't know her name. She has like jet black hair with blonde streaks. You know.
Okay, so you're trying to ask. Huh? You said what?
Edit.
Yeah. No,
Edit.
basically this beef is very on, and you're just trying to escalate it right now. So we're gonna move on to Bicho.
Yeah, there you go.
Before. Yeah, dog.
Well, she better watch out for that tahine. I'm gonna put extra tahine in that
Oh
bitch.
shit!
I,
Into the mic.
for me, it's hard to get red flags. For me, I'm probably easy going. Whatever they want at the bar, I'm like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Even with servers, if there is a pet peeve or a red flag for me, it will be the modded foods. Like when we're like deep in the pocket, we're like all struggling to get this food out, and then they come in and switch up the whole dish from what we're used to serving, you know.
Yeah.
But that'll be my big red flag.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you're bringing this in when we're 20 deep in the pocket,
Yeah.
and then
When are you 20 deep in the pocket? You work
Well,
in a
12.
bar,
Ooh.
I think out of all of us, I've worked.
All right. So so I guess
Hey,
we gotta like kind of
Hey, you want to know
specify.
a red flag though? When friends start working together. When friends bring in friends together,
Yeah.
that is like
Wait. Why? What happens?
because it's most of the time it's they set the standard,
Okay.
not the restaurant. The
Okay.
friend sets the standard of what is going to be going on.
Yeah.
If that person doesn't have a strong work ethic, everything is out the window, right? Because if they don't care about what they're doing,
Fair
Yeah.
play.
then they're gonna just do the bare minimum, right?
Right.
Which is what a restaurant needs is somebody who's always willing to do a little bit more because it always sucks.
Right.
It's never enough money.
Yeah. And so pretty much like the friend that brings in the friend is gonna like probably set the standards a little bit lower than what management would set it because it's like, oh, all you got to do is X, Y, and Z, not A, B, C, X, Y, and Z.
And most of the time,
But
what
I
is
don't
a
think
restaurant
people
though?
like
A Segway though. to something else.
Wait, what are you saying, Will?
I don't think it should be like that. I think it should be the opposite, because since you brought in that person, you putting your reputation on the line. So
100%.
I think that person should outshine himself and try to be the best version of himself, so that he could put you in a good situation.
Yeah.
But that's not the generation we live in.
Well, not always.
Well, that's why you have to. Yeah, that's why you have to coach them on that.
But today,
I think you have to let them know where you're coming from. Whenever I coach someone, I let them know where I'm coming from, what I expect from them, and not only that, but after you leave this place, how you're gonna continue.
But we're not talking about.
We're not just training you to work that. When I train you to be a chef. From here, moving on. So wherever you go, your open doors are for you anywhere.
Yeah.
Will, you're 100% right. Ring the bell. Ring the fucking bell.
Ring the bell.
Yeah. Hey, no. Hey, Will, you're right. But what do I always do when someone asks me, how did I get so good?
Yeah.
I followed the steps. I learned from him. Everybody, I learned how to cook. Not my imagination, how I do things. But who taught me how to get down is Will. I will say that right here, right now. Hey. And I've cooked for Kawhi Leonard. I've cooked for his mom. I've cooked for NBA players. And they've all loved my food. And I always tell them, hey, if you don't need me, I have a friend that can cook for you, which is him. So
I think that is the thing, though, because it's like when you bring in a friend, especially if I'm presenting them to management, like I want them to knock down the door and they better like perform, and because that is, like you said, my reputation online. The last person I brought in, she within 3 months went from being a server to a manager and like killed it everywhere she was like put on the floor. She's moving on to other things now.
But let's talk about the rarity of that.
Is that a rare thing?
Is it?
I mean, but that's also just like, what is the actual, I guess, what is the actual will or effort of the person themselves, the original? I think that's on management, right? So like, if I know that this person isn't that good of a worker to begin with, I don't give a fuck with who your friend is, because you yourself aren't that good of a worker. So like, I already don't. I shouldn't trust who your friend is going to be.
But wouldn't it be like, you don't, like, if you as a person that knows what you're doing and you've been there for a while, you've been in the industry, you want to bring people in that can handle that. Handle the pressure, handle the workload, handle all that. So if you bring somebody in and they don't show up, like you said, it shows off on you that like you brought somebody in that's gonna just come in here and fucking like smoke weed or whatever, and just like fucking call out every other week. Like, nah, you don't want to bring that type of person,
End up in the restroom drunk but naked.
Oh, is that a
specific? We had some of those.
And that's a specific story.
That's a specific situation.
We'll get to that one, I guess.
Well, wait a minute. Talk about
let's talk about that. Actually,
I don't. Yeah, like, no. Is this a recent occurrence?
Nah, it's about a year and a half marinated.
Marinated.
It
could be a quarter.
So this butt naked ass is marinating in a bathroom for a year and a half. What are we talking about?
About a year, maybe a year and a quarter, maybe a year and 3/4.
Dude, we had people sleeping in the changing room, knocked out there for hours.
Oh,
you name it.
Yo, the night team is fucking wild, bro. The night team is so wild.
Wait, Frank, have you ever worked the night team?
I've never worked a night shift at a Redacted from like ever.
What is that, by choice or you just?
Yeah, just like kind of I don't want to say contract, but just kind of the availability that I had from the beginning, just because personal reasons.
I got you, because I see what you do when you get off. You're not that unavailable.
I mean, if we want to get into specifics, I got you. Like if we want to get into specifics, I do have like a personal business, and like I do that on my spare time, personal time. But yeah, I'd rather not work Sunday, Mondays. Those are preferred days off, because you get a little bit of the weekend and you get a work day.
A day that you can get shit done while it's like open.
Yeah. I get a chance to go to the fucking DMV. Or whatever, go to court, because I got a case.
Hey, but I will tell you this.
I'm just gonna ring you.
I'll tell you this: the night team, it's like, it's fun. The reason why I fell in love with it, I never expected. I cooked with my mom since I was young, but I never expected to fall in love with cooking the way that I did. Right, so and then I used to make edibles and treats and infuse things, and so that's how I kind of got into the industry a little bit. But the thing about cooking, man, is that it's like sports. It reminds me of playing basketball, and that's why I do it. That's why I fuck with it. That's why I continue to do it. You get your ass kicked some days, and it reminds you of why you do it. So I remember going to Palm Springs, playing against this point guard that was supposed to go to UCLA. Like, oh, I'm gonna give him buckets. He gave me 30.
Oh shit.
30. He gave me 30. Easy 30. And I was like, fuck, I got a long way to go. and but that's how it feels like when you get your ass kicked. Last night we did 28,130 hours in labor, and like we fucking smoked
Smashed
it.
Into the mic. Yeah.
So it's like
calling you Joey Buckets.
No, I mean that's that's the Joey Buckets is I'm smooth like butter, baby.
He's that curry chef with the pot.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, what are your guys like inspirations that got y'all into cooking? And like, did you ever feel like you would get into it as a career?
My mom, like, I'm the youngest of 4. I'll be the one that'll be like, go peel the potatoes.
The thickest of 4.
Shit.
But
they call him Australia because
I can't lie. My mom, day one, Salvadorian, single mother, just she rocked out cooking, and I got it from her, and then started working at different restaurants. Luckily, I was able to work with amazing chefs that taught me the ropes. Met Will, who's, like Joey said, he is top of the line, one of the best cooks, chefs to train. And
thank you.
He's old school, like legitimately old school. There's a story. One of our partners clocking out because it was too hard for him. Will ran after him, brought him back, and tell him like, no, you're staying and you're finishing your day. You're finishing your shift. I'm not finishing your shift. But that's the type of person that Will is, and that's like, yo, I admire that from him because I wasn't gonna stay for that guy.
We need more of it. We need more of it. We need more of that.
We need to bring a little bit back of the.
A little bit closer.
We need to.
Yeah.
We need to go back a little bit to the old school, how it was, like Hard Knocks, because I think all of us worked with one chef who really talked us and talked shit to us. And
shout out to Mr.
Rami.
Hey,
Rami.
Raging Rami.
Without Rami, I would not be here. Without Will, I would not be where I'm at.
I think he molded us into what we are today. He would literally cuss you out, and he did it out of love, because at the end of the day, he'll still tell you did a great job.
Like, it's what it took. It's what it took.
There's a difference between like service and talking shit outside of work. Like, it's service. You gotta understand that, like, part of the job. Like you gotta build that
character. But
I think some people also don't understand that. I mean, we have built this character through years of experience.
Yeah.
And it builds you into someone more more sharp. With your words more, and not only that, more sufficient, and you're just trying to pass that along, to the younger people. And I think sometimes they take it too personal, and they don't understand that, you're just trying to shape them up into what they are supposed to become.
Right.
If they are in the industry for a purpose, or if they're just there for a paycheck. You get me? But either way, I think you should give it your best at everything you do, and no matter what, where your goal is, or where your vision is. I mean, everything you do, you just gotta do it with your heart.
Well, so what was your inspiration? Because clearly you were inspiring other people to be good cooks and chefs. So I gotta know what yours is.
You know what? I'm kind of like
I'm just competitive,
I've
dog.
been actually cooking since I've been cooking since I was a kid. My mom always used to work in the nights. So when we got out of school, if she didn't have food for us, we'll have to learn how to make. She taught me how to make simple eggs. To even making rice, and stuff like that. And then I'll start cooking for myself, and everything. But I think what got me into cooking was one of my friends. I had barely came back from Vegas, and for a person like me, that honestly been, in the streets, I grew up in the streets, had a lot of rough childhood, So I always, you always see an escape of see what your purpose is, and what you want to do. If you focus yourself out of school and education when you're out there, So I think once a friend introduced me to the restaurant industry, he hired me as a dishwasher immediately, and He just showed me the ropes, man. You know, he told me, you know what, Will, I'm gonna show you everything. He was a general manager in Denny's. That's where I started. And he just told me, I'm gonna show you everything about this business so that no one can play you fool whenever you go somewhere else. And that's I always kind of live by that. That's why I always tell people, you know what, when I show you, when after I'm done training with you and showing you what I know, you're gonna be able to work in any kitchen that you want. And that's kind of how I just took it. And yeah, and you know, honestly, I loved it. I fell in love with it. Just the people that you meet, the culture, you know, with everyone, meeting different people, and then just you know the characters that you have to go through. You know, it kind of builds you up. You know, like I say, builds you up. You know, for your own good, and I think it gives you lessons that you can also apply to your day-to-day basis on your life. You know, I think it's good. It's great.
That was wonderful. I did have a question. I did have a question for whoever wants to answer because you have set like whatever, and then am I not? Am I now? Okay. Speak. Damn, that's funny. I've never had that before. So, so you guys were talking about how this process of like the chef talks shit to you or whatever, this and that, and that's kind of like process of it. Yeah. And while I can understand and respect that, with the newer generation, because of their mindset of a lot of them are this is just a job because nothing's really sustainable, or rather like we're just going to go after the biggest paycheck because a lot of us are surviving. Right. So for them, it is just a job. And if you talk to them the wrong way, they're just going to walk the fuck out because I don't want to say it's much more of a like respect, but like a lot of them, and even for myself too, it's like, I don't care what your position is, who you are, what it is, give respect to get it. If you're going to talk to me crazy, I'm gonna stand for this. I'm gonna leave. Right. Fuck that. I don't care how many years you've been in this or nothing like that. I don't care. You know, just because you're 10, 15, 20 years head chef, Michelin star, give a fuck. Those Michelin stars don't protect you from these hands. That's what it boils down to, is like, I think everybody should talk to everybody with respect, regardless of their position, because at the end of the day, when you've got chefs, head chefs, and shouting in your face, this and that, our friend that was here last time, he told us about like one chef like smacked his hand, smacked the fries out of his hand and hit his hand because done right, this that. Oh yeah, that's abuse, and that's not okay. Even shouting and calling names and shit, that's verbal abuse, and that's a toxic, hostile work environment. Even though that is the old school way, that doesn't make it the right way. I get it, some people learn that way, or it toughens you up, thickens your skin, but still abuse at the end of the day.
I'll take that one.
Go ahead.
Because I kind of feel like I was the last kind of like line of that before COVID happened. So like Will, Rami, right? Will never talked to me crazy, but I always listened to him. Whatever he told me, I listened, right? Rami, I love him to death. And yeah, I got a little bit of that, and I understand what you're saying 100%. But I also wouldn't be the person that I am today if none of my coaches treated me that way. And I feel like a lot of people will blame society or things that are going on in life and not strive for more because of this and that, when someone will try to give them that. And you're completely right. There is a line of verbal abuse and love, right? But sometimes there's tough love. And that tough love will build character, because honestly, no one cares in this world. Yeah, you might get these hands, but you also might get these hands and get fired. You know,
real talk.
You know, but that's not it. So like, yeah, but so like even stop there, because you never know no one's story, right? Like my story, you would never believe it, and everyone on this podcast would never believe it, bro. I've seen rooms of thousands of pounds. I've talked to people that I can't even talk about. So, like, you know what I mean? You never know who you're talking to, right? So, because I'm in certain positions, I have to draw a line, but I always make a personal relation with everybody. Once I figure out what drives that person, regardless of what it is. I built a relationship with you, and now I'm your friend, and now you're not working for the company. Now you're helping out a friend.
That's right.
And you're helping me get through whatever we're going through, and I'm going to help you get through whatever you're going through. So now it's not even about the job. It's about a friend helping a friend, and we're going to build skin through this. We're going to build character about this. We're going to talk about it after, and we're going to show you how we did. The other day, somebody wanted to leave because of personal life, and I told him, hey, man, I understand what you're going through. I really need you today. I've been in the situation you've been in. Let's work through the shift, and maybe it'll take your mind off the situation. He ended up staying overtime. Not because he was like, we need you desperately. He was like, hey, dude, if you want me to stay, I haven't been thinking about my situation all day. I'm willing to stay 30 minutes.
I actually have a quick little story about that, because there was a time where I wanted to leave. I really just like put my knife down. I didn't care that I was leaving my gear behind. I just wanted to get the fuck out. And it wasn't until somebody stopped me. I think we spoke that day. And it's not that you need that reassurance. It's just that you want to know that you're not valued. You know what I'm saying? Like you're fucking valued. Do we want you here? But it's not about that. It's about us. So if I were to leave, you're fucking everyone else up. So that day I came back and I stayed an hour and a half longer than I had to that day. And I felt good. At the end of the day, I was like I always tell myself at the end of the day after my shift, how did you feel about your shift? Did you go in with the mentality that you had in the morning, and do you have the mentality that you have at the end of your shift? And I did, because of that small little talk, you know, and that fucking helped me out get through that day, and I fucking loved it. You know, like at the end of the day. So there's a quote, right? So there's a quote that says, "Love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life."
Yeah.
So I say that shit to myself every day because I love cooking. Because I, as a kid, when I was 7 years old, I grew up with my parents both going to work, and sorry if I'm choking up a little bit.
Are you good, bro?
No, it's the beer.
Oh, you're good,
sorry,
bro.
it's in the-
This safe space. We cried a bunch of times on here.
But both of my parents had to work. They were both working class immigrants.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to cook from my older brother, from my younger brothers.
Yeah.
A household full of brothers. So that's how I learned to cook. I wasn't taught by my dad. Wasn't taught by my mom, but eventually did.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had that mentality. You know, that like I had that dog in me.
Right. Yeah.
Whoa, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, so like that's what started like the passion for cooking for you?
That's what started the passion for me.
Oh, so that's what started the passion of cooking for you.
That's what started it for me. For me, it was both of my parents going to work, and my cousin would like come and check in with us, but like it was, you know, it's super illegal, but we had like a group of fucking kids just like raising themselves.
Yeah. So
I learned to cook, make fucking eggs, and I would wear fucking a sweater that would cover my arms because I didn't want that oil to splash on me.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So I learned that shit from the beginning, and like I just loved it. And then you learn about the actual like chef culture, how disciplined and how strict it is, and how many different regions of the world have specific rules.
You want me to? I got you, bro.
Rub him.
You need someone to massage it out for you?
Teamwork makes the dream work, bro. Come on.
Yeah. We're in this together, bro.
Yo, do you need help?
We're there with you.
We all masseuse. We all got strong hands over here.
Right?
If you need help, bro. You know what I mean? We got you.
These calluses are not for nothing, bro.
Oh yeah, one out of 4 men say that. I don't know.
Are you one of them?
If you're suffering with severe,
I just wanted to say something before we go off this topic of what we were talking about from the being like verbal abuse and all that and like and like just taking the wrong approach to people. And like Joey was saying, if it wasn't for like the discipline that he received, he wouldn't be the chef that he is.
exactly.
I mean, I think I agree and I also say, what my chefs did to me too. I mean, I was talking different ways where I wanted to get up and punch that guy in the mouth, but I never did it. I shut the fuck up, close my mouth, and I make sure I got it right. You get me? Because I told myself I can do it, and if I can't do it, then I'll just walk out,
Right.
I'm not gonna punch this guy in the face, and then because then that means that means that I can't do what they expect me to do,
Right.
and I'll be damned if I can do it, So it's like that's what I'm saying, It's like discipline comes in different forms, and I think I have also a little story of that when I'm working in Redacted, right? There was a situation once where we had this situation where people always clean their boards and toss it in the floor. And I was just getting tired of too many, cleaning the floor, doing line sweeps and all that stuff. So I told people, you know what? Let's cup it up, throw wipe it down, cup it up in your hand.
What did you cup? What did you cup?
You throw you cup you cup the
did you cup
crumbs,
it with,
whatever,
with
right?
one hand or two hands? Like how do you?
One hand, right? I mean, you
just cup?
just you
Say it again. One hand.
Cradle
One
it?
hand?
Did you like kind of like jiggle it?
All right, we're not teabagging or doing some shit like that.
Whoa, hey now, wow. We're talking about the boards, bro.
I'm just saying, we clean the board, cup it in your head, go straight in the trash, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to avoid cleaning so much, we have to do that. But some person wasn't listening, he kept on doing it over and over. And I kept on telling him. And the thing is that, okay, a chef, yeah, I can approach you the right way, and be nice about it. But if you keep doing it several times over and over, then there's something wrong there. And then I will come to you in a different tone, where I'm going to make an impact. You get me? So that you understand that you don't want me to talk to you like that again.
Right.
And and I did it. I went ahead and did it because that's the way I was brought and I was taught. And then my chef had to sit down with me.
He's in the
told me
kitchen
that
right
I
now.
approached him the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy felt disrespected. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
And all I told my chef, you know what? I'm sorry I did. If he feels, disrespected, I'm sorry. But I'll tell you what. I kept my eye on him, and he didn't do it again. He didn't do it again. I told him,
you got results.
I got results. I told him, Chef, you might not like the methods that I use, but I do it for a reason. Why?
He's
Because
got that dog in him.
he's not gonna want me to talk to him like that again.
Yeah.
So he got it right. I told him, man, you might not see it, but I do. And if I have to do it again, I will do it again.
The results are real.
Yeah?
No, because I feel like I agree with that. And what I was going to say was I know most of y'all like backstories, and most people that work at Redacted would not imagine y'all's backstories. And I think that's also just a testament to like just like the beauty of the opportunity that's presented to you guys in the service industry, that you guys can completely like go from wherever you guys have come from to where you're at Redacted and be like the top fucking like grill master chef. Like literally the day I started there back in July 2020, I felt like somebody, like people said Will was like the grill master, and I was like, all right, cool. I don't know what that, you know what I mean? But eventually like that came, I learned that yo, I really need the grill master because yo, I need this fucking steak to be cooked right. And so that's really, really dope.
Some call him the meat master.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
that's
not the meat master.
honestly, I never
God
really
damn.
was
Jesus
actually
Christ.
familiar with that term neither, grill master, but I mean, it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, when I got hired for the position, that they just told me they didn't need an expert, in grilling.
In meat?
In grilling. So
Oh, okay.
Hey, yo.
if you want me, then I got the top sirloin, boy. So
Hey yo.
You know how Will got that position from being the head chef at the fucking the carne asada backyard parties after years and years of
Having the biggest hook.
years of they're like, oh, we need a cook.
Well, I was wondering, like, because right now Redacted is pretty corporate. Have you guys worked at more or less corporate, like more mom and pop spots?
Absolutely.
And then, like, what is y'all like preference between the two?
Well, I'm gonna speak on a personal level.
Yeah.
So before I started at Joey.
Well, Joey's right there. I mean, you started on Joey, and then
moved to another spot. So
yeah.
I went to another spot, and they made me a general manager.
Oh shit.
So yeah, it took the fun away from being like a cook or a chef, whatever you want to call it, cooking in general. It took the fun and joy from it because it was doing payroll, having to hire, having to do all this. Like, you know, I never took my personal knives to work because it was so like such a small joint.
Right.
But when I come to Redacted, like I feel more at home, even though it might be a little bit more corporate, but at least I'm cooking. And I took a step back and I said, do I really want to be a general manager? Do I really want to be like that person? I'm like, no, I want to stay where I'm at. Like I don't want to say that I'm happy 100%, but I am happy.
Yeah.
I get to cut, I get to cook, I sharpen my fucking knife. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing what I fucking love.
Right.
You know, if I want to jump on the line, which is a possibility, I think it's in the books right now. I'm down. The whole corporate thing, to me, it's like it is what it is. You know, like whatever. Like it at the end of the day, I personally don't see the other restaurants. I don't see the corporate side of it. So I'm just like, I'm right here. I'm good. I'm just doing my thing.
But
that's just me. So.
I'm gonna leave you for last because you deal with more of the corporate shit, I think, than all of us.
So that's why I was first, because I was like, ooh, yeah. Might get a little dicey. Also, hit that edit button. Can we get the time on that one?
Let me real quick. We could easily make popcorn shrimp, and I've been thinking about it for like months. It's so so that's a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I see that too. Go ahead.
No. It's because, well, I can talk about it, but I don't know if you want me to talk about it now.
Talk about popcorn shrimp?
No, about like the whole corporate aspect.
Oh,
and being able.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I could go in on corporate.
I'll say this. Look, I'll take a honestly. I mean, the thing I love about moms and pops joints is that you have the freedom to actually experiment and play with food, right? Which is, to me, cooking is always on like a learning process that never stops.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's always new food coming out. You know, inventions that you can do. You can play with spices, herbs, all kinds of stuff, and to create your own, you know, your own dish. You get me? So that's what I like about it. And we work in moms and pops. You always work with the seasonal stuff, right? Like now, like watermelon. When watermelon comes up, right, and Redacted, you know, you guys have the watermelon drink, right? Yeah. But that's not the only thing we can use watermelon for. We can do watermelon salad. We can use it.
We could do Mexican candy if they would let us. You know what I mean? Mexican candy shots. Exactly. That's the fucking thing, because we're fucking corporate. I can't bring that in.
But I think from corporate, the only thing that I do not like is that they're more set on a fixed menu, and it's rarely when you get to actually learn something from a corporate spot, because you're just kind of consistently doing the same thing. And if you are starting in the kitchen and you stay there for multiple years, you're not gonna learn nothing. You're only gonna know what's being taught to you there. And for me, as growing up as a chef, I always like to have one cooking job and one prep job, for the reason that I could learn recipes in one job and then cook in the other one, and I can play with my own food now, and I can do whatever I want. You get me? So there's more knowledge to me, which is making you more aware of what you can create, and start building yourself more as a chef, right? And then doing your own thing. You could cook for you at home, cook for your girl, whatever you want, and surprise yourself. Take it to a different level. I always tell people don't get comfortable, in one place, because you want to, especially if you're starting as a chef, you want to make sure that you have a continuous learning of that knowledge.
And I feel like that's something that actually I feel like kitchen staff and bartenders have in common. You get me? Like, I know you're behind the bar in the kitchen. I know you have some amazing drinks and probably ideas that you would like to bring up or maybe share with a guest. And that's something that we struggle too. Like sometimes we have amazing dishes that we want to share to our guests and we can't. You get me?
Yeah.
But,
I have just like a slight little leeway where like I think my thing is like I think because I've started working with like the inventory and purchasing, I kind of know what my wiggle room is in terms of what I can and can't play with. And so if I can't play with a lot of like the drinks, I'll play with like the garnishes and stuff like that. And so like that's not but so much accounted for. So like I could just make the drinks look prettier and people like kind of account for that. But it's like it feels for me stifling when like I actually get passionate about like craft cocktails and I can't just go crazy and like I go on Instagram or wherever and like I have like these lists of like 7 cocktails I want to try over the next couple of weeks, but I can't because there's no set way for me to ring it in so that the company can account for every quarter ounce that I'm using in said drink. But like when I'm able to do it, like customers are very pleased, and at Redacted we're all about the customer experience. That's all guac, if you will. Guac is all we talk about. And guac, what is guac for people that don't know? Is GWAC, genuine warmth and kindness. Oh, GWAK. Yeah. That guac 3000, if you will.
Stop saying guac because I have to make that shit every fucking day.
You said what?
I said stop talking about guac because I have to make that bitch every day.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so that's what they want us to provide for the customer experience. But like, it's also a stifling experience to not be able to give them like the most unique experience that I know I can give them because we're at a corporation and everything needs to be accounted for down to the quarter ounce. Now let's let what's your title over there? I want to hear from Joey, the corporate man. He is bought into the cult completely. He has a membership card and everything.
Before he goes though, I just really quick want to say that yes, it is a corporation and I am like I don't want to say settled, but I'm good. But the whole fact that you said that like the creativity and the dishes that you want to present and that what you want to make, it kind of gets shut down, or it has to go through so many levels before it could actually become a dish. That is probably the one point where I'm just like, oh, my creativity isn't being shown at all. But the beautiful part about that is that we could still make that dish if we have the items, and we could present it to the people that we want to present it to, and it's like, oh shit, you get down, bro,
Yeah.
And it's not like I want that that pat on the back kind of situation.
The validation.
But at least we know that we got it.
Yeah.
As chefs,
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I am technically executive sous chef at Redacted.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. This dude just pulled his dick out.
Yeah. Everybody, get out.
But
get out of the way.
that is my biggest thing with the corporate restaurant. But the biggest argument that I have with people that talk to me about that, YouTube is free, very, very free, and you can go there and learn whatever you want at whatever time you want to. And I'm like just saying that because there's sauces, there are things that I've created that I've learned off of YouTube, off of Instagram, off of TikTok, and taken it and created and made for people, like I have said, very, very wealthy people, that were like, hey, how'd you learn this? And like, yeah, I put my own spin on it. Yeah, I do my own thing, but it all started from a root of something, right? So that's you setting a limit and a roof on yourself, because you can take that and make it wherever you want to. Food is one thing. It's very it's very sourceable. You can get it for cheap or you can get it for high. So it's like if you want to do something, all it takes is one dish and one time for something to pop. There's a guy on TikTok right now. They call him, I can't remember, I don't know his name, but he cooks with his shirt off. The women are in love with him. But he started cooking on TikTok.
How often do you watch this?
I don't watch it.
Okay.
I don't watch it. I don't watch it. But it's because my girlfriend brought it up to me. Hey, I'm not a. She, whatever she has on TikTok, she watches, right? But I'm just saying as an example. right? As an example.
This is
right?
a wild example, but go ahead.
It's very true. But on a corporate level, I would feel like they should always give us the opportunity for at least once a month. At Redacted, they actually did this before COVID happened. They would actually get 2 chefs from each restaurant who won a cooking competition, send them up to Canada, give them the opportunity to make their dish in front of the corporate team. And if they liked it that much, it would become part of the menu. They would tweak it and make it to where it could be a universal item. Obviously, COVID changed a lot of things, right?
Isn't that, sorry to cut you off, isn't that how, I mean, this is probably getting too specific, but isn't this how we got the crispy mashed potato low-key?
The crispy mashed potato came from...
It won a competition somewhere.
It's from a one chef who is now the executive of culinary for a restaurant. I don't want to put his name out there because it is too specific.
Yeah.
But he did win Chef Canada, and he was top 10 Chef Japan.
All right, now you done say Canada. Now it's way too specific.
All right, yeah. So, but not what year. What year is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he did do that, and he actually got to work side by side with him. Actually, Will did too in Houston. He is really precise. The guy does know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Everything that does come from the menu does come from him, and like the guy is really brilliant. So I will say that everything has a spin, right? And everything has to make money. One thing about Michelin star chefs, once their money runs out, you run out of a job. They're not taking you with you. They're also gonna wait until they get more funding. So there's the grass isn't always greener from that learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, you get stability and you could build a career, you could build yourself through a company. And then there's another side though, which takes a lot more effort and a lot more internal fire that people don't realize, is being an entrepreneur. Because when you're a Michelin star chef, you're an entrepreneur. You are a restaurant entrepreneur. People forget that side of it, is you're not a cook no more. You're a business owner. So people that talk about they want to create this, they want to create that, but how far can you take that?
Yeah, and you got to be able to recreate it every day, 1,000 times over.
And make it profitable.
Yeah.
One thing that's not profitable is people talk about black truffle cheese all the time. A gram of that costs $500. Or an ounce.
Yeah.
I think it's an ounce costs $500.
Yeah.
A gram at most restaurants is $100. How sustainable is that?
Yeah. And it's also like seasonal, right? Like
it's seasonal.
Yeah, it's seasonal.
So many items are seasonal that it's like how that's where the breaking point at most places are. Why is Koji and making Return to LA?
I don't know.
I don't know. But I will say it's because that market is there, and it will always be there for him.
There's somebody that will pay for it.
Yeah, there's someone that will pay for it because what he created is that good. And now it's in stores. You could buy it in Costco. You could buy his sauces in Costco. I've seen them in Costco.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Would you rather have a Michelin star rated restaurant, your own, your name on it, you being the top dog, or having like a mom and pop pizza shop? I'm just asking because I'm curious.
I've seen mom and pop pizza shops that have created and sustained families, and I think that's a beautiful thing because not everything is about not everything's about earning. Once you reach a certain point, it should be about your family and about what you could create around you and how much you sustain for your future generation. Because whatever you create is only going to grow. But if you only have the vision for yourself, then that's where it's going to stay. But if you create a vision for who you have around you, then there's going to be another mom and pop. There's going to be another mom and pop. There's going to be another mom and pop. And eventually it can either turn into a chain or become In-N-Out, who had the youngest billionaire at the age of 27. Right. So it depends on how far you want to take it. Right. And when has In-N-Out's menu changed? And tell me who complains about In-N-Out.
Exactly.
I do.
I mean, besides their fries.
Besides the fries, animal style, and a bunch of
other. But in like totality,
in totality, people don't complain about it. Yeah, it's like it's up there with like some of the best fast food restaurants in the U.S. Yeah, that makes sense. What was I gonna say? Like I guess going like what you're talking about. Like, did you guys all answer that question? I guess mom and pop versus like corporate. Like, what you would prefer?
I started off in a mom and pop's pizzeria, actually, and like
I can tell.
Jealous much? Wish you had all this. But
Shit, I was there yesterday.
Yeah. But,
Hey, Kevin,
that's love right there.
You know?
Like, that's something that you always get in the kitchen, like bashing on each other. But yeah, mom and pops, it's you have space to be creative, of course, but you're never really gonna grow there. You understand that the owner's always gonna be the owner, and that's it.
Right.
No matter how good or great you are, they're never gonna see beyond that. They're never gonna have like a position they're willing to give up because it's their money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which corporate is also as well, but they give you the opportunity of growing, maybe becoming a lead, becoming a trainer, becoming more. You get me? And they actually value you, you know. But for me personally, I really don't value what the restaurant or anybody says. For me, my value comes from my workers. That's it. Like, to them know that I'll go to bat for them 100% any time of the night, any type of day. It could be waking me up to coming to work. I'll be like, yo, I'm there. But that's what I value more, like teamwork.
If I can say one thing, I think is at those restaurants, even is at what do we call it? At Redacted, you have the opportunity to really to create something if you want to, right? It's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be tough. But man, I could have been sitting 25 years to life right now, and I would never think or imagine being in the position that I'm in right now, dude. Like I come from one of the poorest cities in California. You grew up in Victorville. You don't leave Victorville. And I'm essentially living my dream. I always said I would live in LA, and here I am, dude. And I've had the opportunity, and you know, like, I'm very blessed. I don't wake up angry if there's something that I created for myself, and like money situations I created for myself. It's not because I haven't hustled enough. It's because I'm not being responsible, right? So it's like people don't also hold themselves accountable, right? So it's like I've understood that, and I don't think I would have grown from that without being in a situation that I'm in. I share that with a lot of people, and like I'm an advocate for anybody that wants to be where I am. I want to get them there. Like that is, and I'm speaking to someone specifically, and I'm looking right at them. All right,
Oh,
so
shit. Shit. This is a different podcast now.
It's
an intervention.
It's really because I see what has gone for me, and I want the best for the people that I love, because there's not many people that I can say that. It's like a handful of people that I can say that I really I mean 2 handfuls of people, because I have a lot of friends in Houston. Shout out Strict Ryan. I fuck with y'all heavy. But
what he said.
Exactly. It's like I've seen both sides of life, right? And the streets, trust me, the streets aren't for anybody. You need to be you need to be a gorilla, man. Right? You need to be a gorilla to be out there. And people aren't built for that life, man. And there's people out there that they really don't play, dude. So it's like you gotta there's a story, right? And you can create it and you can make it. And I've seen Will recreate himself, dude. Will is a really, like, he's a real inspirational person for a lot of people, man. Like, his story is way greater than mine. And I say that in the sense of, like, if he could make it to where I want him to be and where he should be, anybody, man, can really be there. Seriously.
Shout out to Will.
Shout out to Will.
Go Will.
So, thank you guys.
Speech.
Speech.
Thank you guys. Honestly, like I said, from like moms and pop stores, you know, to corporate. Me, honestly, this is honestly like the first time I honestly worked for like a big corporate chain, you know, restaurants.
Yeah.
I've always been like kind of moms and pops, you know.
Yeah.
Just because of the freedom that you have and the culture, and not only that, but I think they show you more affection. You know, they care more about you. You know, in a deep level.
Corporate.
Yeah, no, in a
Mom
moms
and
and
pop,
pops.
yeah.
Because you know, it gets personal. You taking care of their business. You making them successful, and they're gonna take care of you. And which in a corporate, they kind of just say, okay, we just want to hire the people that are gonna make us the most money, and then you're kind of just they forget about you. You know, and honestly, it's always like that. You know, and within corporates, they just kind of have an image. You know, and there's a lot of people out there. You know, they're being underpaid. You know, they're being underpaid. They're not being acknowledged. You know, they're not being rewarded and all that stuff. You know, but I would say, you know what, if you have a hard worker, like our myself and some other, or the rest of us, like you gotta take care of your employees.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of your employees because good working people is hard to come by. And like trust me, and even in corporate areas, in corporate restaurants, when you go to one of those places and there's someone with experience that been there for a while, he most likely doesn't want to train you. He most likely doesn't want to train you, and if he does, it's only because he has to. And he's not going to show you everything. With me, it's a different case because for me,
that sounds a little bit like when Paulo trained Fernando, low key. Basically, when like Paulo did not really want to train Fernando, right? No, yeah. Then like when you first started. Sorry, they're off the screen. Yeah. Basically, Paulo. Like basically, the story is Fernando started at a job. This is how they met. Fernando started at the bar, and Paulo was the person that had been working there. And Paulo just pretty much was like, "Yeah, man, like you're well over there," and just kind of left Fernando to his own devices. and then they became cool, and here we are today, years later. But originally, it was that story where like Paulo was kind of set in his ways. He was doing his own thing. Then in comes this new guy, and it's just like, yeah, I have no interest in
and training that person, right? And then it becomes like that in a lot of situations, where the person says, you know what, I'm not gonna train this person because it doesn't benefit me, or either that I don't get paid enough to do these, and it could be either both. For me,
you never get paid enough.
For me, you never get paid enough. Is I'm more like, okay, let's do this. Why? Because for me, it's my legacy. It's like this is what I do, and people are gonna remember me. I don't want to be forgotten. You get me? Yeah. So it's like I want to make sure people remember me by who I am, what I did for them. You get me? And what helped them. If so in the little time that they spend with me.
Yeah.
You get me? So I want to make sure I do an impact on you, whether either I spend 1 minute with you or I spend several days, or even years with you. So you get me? So it's like I want to. Those are the type of things that I just kind of look in the person. Like are you here? For a short time, even if it's not a short time, but are you gonna absorb? Are you gonna appreciate the time that I'm spending in you?
Right.
You get me? Because my time is valuable and my knowledge is valuable too.
Right.
You get me? So it's like I don't care, if I'm not getting paid enough, or if I've been there for too long and you're gonna take my job. It doesn't matter to me. Because you know what? Everyone has this time. You get me? And even like the rarest flower doesn't bloom all year, bro. It only blooms one time a year. It only blooms one time a year, and it's the most beautiful flower. And you fucking artist.
Yo, facts. Big facts.
So it's like I'm just saying, it's like
Bro,
everyone has this.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, speak to her in the camera, please. Speak to her in the camera.
Everyone out there, just be patient. It's your time. You get me? And when it comes, you're gonna be and the world is gonna be shocked, bro, because you are what you are, because and you're gonna be what you're gonna be because what you waited for, all the hard work that you put into it is gonna pay off. Trust me.
I think we're starting the Will spinoff podcast.
I thought you were only sensitive in Houston, huh? I thought you're only sensitive in Houston.
There's something I think Chef
I thought you're only sensitive in Houston, huh?
Nah, man. I'm sensitive around my people. You guys are my people. Honestly, I speak facts. I like to speak real. When I'm around my people, because like I said, this is me. It's my reputation, right? And it's like I mean, we're not gonna be here. I might be gone tomorrow. You might be gone tomorrow. We don't know what's gonna happen to us, right?
That's right.
But this is why I want to introduce myself to you guys, right?
Yeah.
And this is how I tell people, you know what? This is how you gotta carry yourself. I mean, you gotta be humble.
You ain't humble at all right now, bro. You going to fuck off right now.
I'm humble, dude. I'm humble. I'm humble, you know. But when it's time, you know, to get the grinding going, you got a different character kicks in. A different character kicks in. This is a different version you see of me right now. When I'm at home with my wife, my son, I'm more gentle. You know?
Are you?
Are you?
Except in bed.
If he had a podcast, it would be called Will Spin, not Will Smith.
It'd be called Little Willie.
I wanted
to
ask you guys a question. So this is less serious, but why is it such an issue for like front of house staff to put an order in for like? Why do we as bartenders like put an order in fries? Oh, make sure it's okay. What do you mean if it's okay? If I just put the order in without a name, it's gotta be made, right? So why does it matter if it's for me or for the guest? Like, why do I have to put my name on it? Why do I have to make sure it's gonna be, if it's okay? Fries, if I say for a table, you're gonna make it. Say it's for me, then it's pushed to the back. Like, just fries.
Logically, you're very correct.
Hold on, because I worked at some places where it's like, oh, you have to ask. You have to ask to make sure it's okay. It's like, why?
Are you sure?
You know what? I honestly I agree with you. I don't think that should be ever an issue, because you know what? If anyone, you know, at Redacted, you know, I'm the only one that actually ever cooks family meal for everyone. I like to take care of the people that works hard with me, you know, and if they need to be rewarded, you know, then I will cook for them, you know, just to make sure that they get fed. You get me? And honestly, I don't think an employee should be able, you know, in a restaurant, be able to buy his food. We're there working in a hostile environment. We deal with a lot of bullshit with a lot of people. You get me? Management and in front of the house, you know, people just, you know, you gotta make sure that you treat the guests right. So it's like, honestly, I mean, I think we as chefs should just be like, you know what, we're here to resolve problems, and whatever's got to get done, we got to get it done. You get me? And it's like, no matter whose it is, whether it's an employee or especially if it's an employee, you know what, let me get it for you right away. You get me? I know you need to eat because I'm fucking hungry too. You get me? I haven't gotten a chance to eat, but if you got a chance to eat, man, more power to you. You get me? But it's like, I think we need to have more of a mindset of like, you know what? Okay, we're chefs, and we're here to resolve problems and not create them.
But I think it's more of a, it's never a problem. I think it's like the bad few for us at Redacted.
You know what? Let me
it's never
just
an
jump
issue.
in real quick, because you guys, because you know what? I'll tell you this situation. You guys know real, like, honestly, like, there's this person. And I Redacted, dude, that always comes to me and tells me, yo, Will, I'm putting my foot in right now. And what I told him the last time, Bicho was there. I told him, I don't give a fuck. I told him, you know what? I told him, I don't give a fuck. You just another person ringing your fucking food, and I'm going to make it as it comes. Right? Yeah. Right? Because I don't care whether it's for you. You don't need to tell me this. You're going to break. If I get a bill, I'm going to cook it because that's what I get paid for.
No, and that's the thing about it. It's the bad ones. It's the few bad people that will like 100%. Will come up to the person while the whole window's filled, everything's filled, and like, hey, I'm gonna ring in my food right now. And then we'll sit next to you and be like, hey, is it ready yet? You just rang it in.
Also, it's a full fucking
but it's like it's never a problem. It's never a problem. And then it'll be like, yeah, like that person. Yeah, he makes it a little bit difficult for some others.
But you see, when I started working nights, I would be like, yo, Will, look.
No, but
look,
like,
Jack's
yeah,
here.
man.
Jack's here. No, I like pushing buttons sometimes. I like making cracking jokes. I was like, yo, Will. I was like, yo, Will.
Are we talking about Jack?
Jack.
Yeah.
So he'll come up to the window. He'll like stand in front of Expo, and I'll be like, Will, Jack's here. He's like, what the fuck? And I'll be like, yeah, he's here. Every day I would tell him, like, yo, Jack, you gonna ring in your food right now? No? Let me know when you're gonna ring it in, because I know it'll tick him off, but it'll make me laugh.
Oh shit! No, we have the same thing at the bar a little bit because there's certain people. Y'all know these people, man. They're pushy as fuck. Like, they will order, like, because recently we started putting our still waters and our sparkling waters behind the bar because we would be out, like, when we did inventory every week, we would be out like 40 still waters, like bottles, which is like ridiculous. So we started putting them behind the bar and we eliminated that like problem within like a week. So now it's a thing because we got to keep the waters behind the bar, but also they ring them in. And most people understand, all right, cool, you rang in the still water. I still got 4 tickets. I'll probably see it in like maybe, let's say, give me 60 seconds, 90 seconds. I'm going to see it and I'll like call for it so that I get it for you. Some people will legitimately like ring it in before the ticket even like rings. They're at me with like their glassware. So yeah, so these glasses are for the lemons and limes for that still water. I'm like, yo, my G, I literally have all these tickets. I haven't even seen your water. I will call for it as soon as possible. Like, you know what I mean? And so that like, and it's very passive aggressive too. It's like, they're just like telling you, I know you're going to be slow getting it. So let me try to get ahead of it. And I'm just like, bitch, wait the fuck your turn. like wait the fuck your turn. And you know I'm going to get it to you because I've done it the last, I don't know, 3 years you've been seeing me work here. I will get it to you. But like the passive aggressiveness that I feel like we see on it, on the, like y'all see on the line when you're especially working Expo. I've seen, what is it, Cindy used to work Expo. She stopped working Expo and she left Redacted because of some of the servers just being mad passive aggressive.
Oh, well, man, how many times do you pass by me and you, maybe like we're just like saying hi to each other,
Yeah,
and you'll hear 10 servers, 3 cooks, Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
Yeah.
Joey.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I think as a restaurant, because we used to have this thing called May I, which is like, like we all know the thing is like, hey, the proper form of May I, and like a lot of the newer people don't understand. Like May I is like to kind of alert me that you need to ask me something. So the idea is you'll wait for me to acknowledge it. And then you ask me like the thing. It's like, hey, yeah, it'll be like, yo, Rob, may I? And like I'm pouring a drink, like I'm counting and stuff, and I'll build a drink, and then like now look up and like, yes, what do you need? And then you proceed to ask me. And now most people are just like, hey, may I get this, and this, and can I get this wine, and this is, and I'm just like, I haven't even, I don't even.
They're saying, man,
86. 86 to May I.
Yeah,
I think people forget of how like long a minute can be. Right, systems are in place to work for a reason, right? And when they do the things that are outside the system, it prolongs what could have been in that minute, right? Instead of them asking you that question, if they would have ran the 4 drinks in front of you, by the time they're back, their water would be in front of them.
Yeah.
But while they pause to bother you, because I am going to call it bothering. They're bothering.
Yeah.
It prolongs the system, right?
No, I legitimately get into it with people where I start having a conversation with them, and I literally tell them, so you know that like now I'm not making any drinks, I'm having this conversation with you, and now not only are your drinks not getting made, about 10 other tables' drinks are not getting made because you want to have this conversation about how spicy we need to make this passion fruit margarita, and I've made this drink 1,000 fucking times, like literally 1,000 times I made this drink. So if you say extra spicy, I know how many more serranos to put in it to make it spicy. But now that you want to have a conversation with me and argue with me about it, now no drinks are getting made. And now I'm just looking at you like you're dumb. And what?
I got one thing to say, but I'll let Bicho go first.
No, it's just that same thing happens like when a server comes onto Expo and they talk to our cooks instead of talking to the Expo person.
Oh my God.
Like, can I get an OC parm dip? And you're like cooking, you're just like, what? I'm like, I'm trying to plate this. I'm trying to write a happy birthday. I'm trying to talk to my grill cook to make sure, like, you know, he understands what's gonna go on each plate. And you're asking me for an OC when I have someone there that you can ask.
Also, you may not even be the person that OC might be all the way on apps.
Sushi or wasabi. You're like, what? I'm looking at them like,
the worst thing is where they'll ask the cook, and then the cook is like, they've never heard of that item before because they've never worked that station or have no idea, and they were like,
or they have a different name for it in the front of the house and the back of the house.
Yep.
Oh, like the avocado cream yesterday.
Yeah, avocado cream. You're like, what the fuck is
What?
avocado cream?
It's the green goddess.
The Green
The
Goddess?
green goddess sauce, yeah.
Which has no avocado.
But it used to when we first
Oh.
did. Yeah.
Oh shit.
The old
So
one.
they never got rid of the button.
Wait, so we said red flags with like with servers. What are y'all red flags with customer mods and shit like that?
As long as it's rank, like if it's for a customer and it's ranked correctly, whatever. Like, there's the two sides of it. There's the corporate side. Of course, you got to
Get the mic in front.
You gotta ring it in correctly. You gotta make sure we take account for it. And then there's just the cooking, like us as cooks.
If you're allergic to pepper, if you're allergic to garlic, if you're allergic to cilantro, if you're allergic to
You should not
guacamole,
even
if you're
eat
allergic to avocado, if you're allergic to gluten, if you're allergic to egg,
Why are you going out?
then why are you eating here today? Like, okay, that is the red flag.
Well, to me,
That's the best.
You're a walking red flag that should not. Leave
Yeah,
your
you
house.
should not be out. Where's your what? You
EpiPen.
should be walking around as that cartoon. What was it? The bubble,
The bubble boy.
the marshmallow.
Boy.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
marshmallow.
yeah. Big
It's a
Six, I
bubble boy.
think. Yeah,
Well,
and
to
that's
me,
the thing
honestly,
about it.
one of most risk flags is just it's just when you want to add more to the dish. Then I mean, to me, it's okay if you take off of the dish like what you don't like, right? I don't like this. I don't like that. I can eat that. That's fine. But if when you start adding different stuff, different items to your dish, then you're creating your own dish. Right, so it's like have
It's
respect.
the counter at
Have
this point.
respect for what the chef created, and we have on our disposal for the menu. But don't come in here and try to make your own dish, because if that's the case, you might as well stay home and make your own dish.
And there's
You get
restaurants
me?
that way.
It's
They're
like,
called
I don't
Subway
care
and
if you-
Chipotle.
Like, I don't care if you deduct stuff out of it, that's fine. But if
Yeah.
you start adding different things that is totally a dish that we never seen and we don't do, it's like that's like, okay, this is the start of something that is gonna just become more annoying and bigger problem, because now this customer does it. Now everyone is aware that, oh, okay, I would like to add this to it, and that creates a big confusion in the kitchen.
But what's
And
worse
then they
about it?
wanna-
What's worse about it is when the staff starts
So that's
doing
the
that.
thing. That's the shit we hate, or even at the bar, but I know y'all hate it too, when servers start saying like, oh, well, I get mine's like this.
Yes.
And so then there's like, oh, this lettuce wrap, actually, you could just take the lettuce away and you could do it with rice instead. I'll just make into a rice bowl. And it's like, I personally do that for my own personal
But like
lunch.
Rob, we love you.
Oh,
All right, there is a
Thank you.
difference,
You gotta
right?
have-
Make
Yes.
a relationship. Be a good employee. Run the
Learn
food.
our
we're,
names.
We're gonna do it for you, right?
Yeah,
We're
learn
gonna.
our
We
names.
will do it for you. I do not have a problem doing that. Asking the right time. So that's the thing. I'll answer that question again, right? If you're asking me to do a difficult dish for you, ask at the right time. If I'm 30 deep in the pocket and I can't
Yeah.
see tickets, don't come and ask me if you could ring in your modded sushi bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, but what I'm saying is like that personal dish that I make for me on my lunch. Now some servers will go to their
Oh,
table,
it's a thing. It's a thing.
and they'll be like, "Hey, if you don't like the lettuce wrap, let me tell you how you can do it a little bit different and make it not even a lettuce wrap
Yeah.
anymore. Make it into a bowl."
Yeah.
and you're just like, "Yo,"
And that's
like,
what they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah,
And you never, and that's why Rob, like, look, dude, you've never done that. You always follow procedures. You've always asked the right way. You've always spoken to us the right way. The servers that do that, dude, if they want a little extra pomodoro for their spaghetti, hey, I'm gonna do it for you, even if
For
it's
sure.
busy, because you treat us right when we need you.
Well, it was a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
So how it kind of happened for my training, and it worked out to my benefit, was when I started my training. Basically something happened where I couldn't finish my training, so they made me be an SA for 2 weeks before I could be a server. And at first I was like, damn, nothing against SAs. SAs are busters in Redacted. Sorry, nothing against
But those
busters.
locals-
Yeah, nothing against
SA?
yeah, nothing against busters, but at the time I signed on to be a server, so I want to make server money, and then so yeah, it's weird to be calling y'all essays or not, but like, but,
We allow it.
yeah, but
You got the pass.
but yeah, so in that time they let me be a essay or a buster for like maybe like a week, and they were just like, it doesn't make sense for you to be, and so then they put me online with Cindy, and I was on Expo, so I was running food, and that was when I I literally was just standing on the line, just talking with like you, and at the time it was G. It was the big. Yeah, Rami was there, and so at that point, that was when I was learning all of the mods I could do.
Oh, Rob, you're talking about Rob, Expo Rob.
Expo Rob, and
yeah,
then
Expo
also,
Rob, light skinned dude.
Also, what's the dude? The
Shout out to Expo Rob.
The big,
All right,
there's a bigger
I
black
hate to
dude.
interrupt you guys, but
You
I'm
got
gonna have to leave.
You got to bounce.
Yeah, I gotta bounce, but it was nice to be here.
Oh, Will.
I actually
appreciate
gotta
it,
go
bro.
to work in an hour. So,
Damn, bro.
thank you guys for having me here.
Of course, bro.
It's been great.
She'll run it back.
Thank you guys. Hopefully, we can do this again. And,
Yeah.
You know, just like I said, for everyone out there, you know, just you know, try to be, you know, the best chef that you can be. You know, so you know, resolve problems, right? Like we here as chefs, we're here to resolve problems and not create them, and not to bitch about anything, right? Because those are the things that makes you a great chef, and that those are the things that they look, you know, in a leader, and that's how you get to inspire people. You know,
Sure.
honestly, that's what I like. To me, that's my main focus is to inspire people on what I do,
Yeah.
and that's why I know whenever I have something to do, even a complicated thing that they bring me, I don't care. I just do it. Get it
Yeah.
done, right? Because it's my job. I'm here to do it, and as long as I'm here, you know, it's like take advantage. Because once I'm gone, you know, it's like
Who knows?
yeah, who knows, right? Like once I'm out of the door, like I'm not gonna help you.
Right.
Once I'm off the clock, right? But I mean, I'm not like Bicho. Bicho will work after hours and still help
Bicho
you out
will
and be
clock
there,
out and still work an extra
still
3,
work
4
for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
No, he works 4 hours before his shift and 4 hours after.
Yeah. And just not get paid.
Just
I
great
just do
people
it for
like
the
that, you
team.
know.
Yeah.
But
I just do it for the
honestly,
team.
But thank you guys for having me.
Yo, we appreciate having you, Will, bro. You like impart a lot of good knowledge on us, and we definitely got to have you back, bro.
Thank you. Anytime, man.
Yeah, bro. Safe travels.
Big Dick Will.
You can't say that at work though, because you're getting me fired.
I'm glad I'm not working.
All right, bet. Yeah. So what I was saying is like basically when I got trained, I had that week, right, 2 weeks where I was a SA, and then they moved me to Expo, and so I got to know the line. I got to know all the mods, and I started like asking you guys like, oh, okay, so like when I get this steak, I can add shrimp, and I can add this, and okay, I get the chicken. When I get the chicken parm, I can add garlic toast. I can add protein to it. I can do this, and so like that, just having that conversation, and I started to get to know y'all names.
Well,
that.
Rob, like the thing about it too, dude, is like you rang in every item, right?
Okay.
And like peppercorn used to not come with the ribeyes, right? I feel like they did that because you would ring in every ribeye with a peppercorn sauce, right? So, and the thing about it is like when servers do those mods, they don't understand they're also taking away from their sales, which also takes away from their credibility to what they're doing, right? And they don't understand that the guest doesn't give a fuck if you're giving them a discount. They're not going to tip you more.
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change. It changes nothing.
Yeah,
dude. It changes nothing.
It does nothing. And if they ask for it, and like it's always for me, it's always about the phrasing of it, right? So it's just like, okay, yes, this steak comes as a 7-ounce sirloin, but most people upgrade it to a 7-ounce filet mignon or a 14-ounce New York or now a 22-ounce bone-in ribeye. And so I say upgrade, so like you can't be surprised when I charge you more for it, but you also know that these are the other options.
And most of the time when they're on dates, when they hear upgrade and the girl is like
looking at them,
they're like, okay, I got to.
Things.
But people aren't. They're already assuming the worst in people, which creates their worst scenario. But if you're assuming the best, like, hey, I'm gonna make this in a real experience. Like, dude, when I go to dispensaries and people are like, people are just like, this smells good. But when like the bud tender, girl or guy, treats me really well, I'm like, I'm gonna spend a little bit more money with you, and I'm gonna tip you.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, this the easiest thing for me is anytime I sell a steak, for instance, I tell people like, yo, most people get like a surf and turf situation. They add like a skewer of prawns or a lobster tail or a crab cake. And it was like, a surf and turf? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, sure. And yesterday someone was like, you pick. And I was like, the lobster tail for sure. And it's just that simple. Just you telling people their options just gives them that open window, and they like they will spend more. But so many servers don't even know the fucking menu to begin with. They're putting in a burger with no cheese, and like I'm looking at them like, you know, it doesn't come with cheese, bro.
Hey, let's. No, it's
even though
insane.
it's literally called the bacon cheddar burger.
Yeah, it's like
Does it have cheese? No, I don't know.
Maybe.
Let me ask Bicho and Joey. Joey.
Let me waste their time.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
What cheese does it come again with?
Wait, so what are some other like red flags with like just mods from like guests that y'all got?
Like I said, with guests, it's I'm allergic to peanuts, and then they go check again. It's like, oh no, it's just a preference.
You want to know what the red flag is?
What's up?
What server is serving that guest?
Because that is the thing.
That's
the
the
server
influence.
knows how to like kind of mitigate that situation
That's the influence.
before it even gets to you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they
so
don't
it's
ask the
like
question.
you gotta really romance the dish. The
Yo, explain
servers-
romance.
Yeah.
Romance.
Okay, so romance essentially making the dish as presentable as possible. Honestly, it's like an Instagram photo, right? Because everything is visual these days, right?
Right.
You want to get a dish that comes to your table. You want to take a picture about it. You want to share it. You want to make it like your experience is essentially better at that moment than whoever you're sharing that environment with, right? So the aesthetics of that photo really matter. So I want to say this. What makes you think your idea is better than a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar company?
That's a great question. Yeah.
There's a reason there's multiple locations of these places because of the dish. And if you take that power away from the menu, you take that power away from yourself, and you give all the power to the guest.
And then they send it back because they weren't happy with it. But yeah,
I've
they're
had
the one
dishes that the
customized
guest
it.
prescribes for exactly, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't like it."
Oh, it's the same thing with the drink. Like people will do stuff to drinks that are like very off menu, and then we're just kind of like, well, you still need to pay for it because I made it, and those resources, those products were used to make this drink to the specification you asked for.
I ain't drank more than half
And
of
then it's
it.
like, oh my god, don't get me started on that. I didn't drink half of it. Yeah,
They
but yeah,
have a
it's just
mistake.
like, and then they send it back, and it's like, well, I didn't like it. It was like, I know that's why it's not on the fucking menu like, to begin with. It's a dumbass drink.
Your model was fucked.
Yeah.
Or they send the steak back and it's like they just cut the edge off. They're like, I didn't order that. We're like, no, cut the steak.
Oh yeah, the temperature
Cut the
thing.
steak. I'm like, look, there it is.
Yeah, like people will send their steaks back before they cut the middle of the actual steak, huh?
Middle of the steak. I think the biggest thing with the steaks, though, and I'll be honest with you guys, I know you guys are all bartenders, right?
Yeah.
Is that the food arrives to the bar, and the bar is about environment, especially when you're there in a group. So sometimes you don't get to the food right away. Sometimes the food is in front of you. It's like, oh, it's nice. I'm having a conversation. 10 minutes pass. Oh, it's cold. And I know you guys hate it too, and I know you guys are going to be like, fuck. And I know this. Joey's fucking busy. He's going to bitch at me. and I know it, and I'm sorry, and I'm working on it. I am working on it, people. All right.
And you know what you call that? You call that growth.
So it is like it is a thing. But this is one of the things that I have for the bar is if you're not rude to me, you're in the same battle that I'm in. You're in the same battle that I'm in. You're in the weeds. You're in it as deep as I'm in it. I know they're ringing in crazy shit, and you guys are trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure it out. So it's always like, if you're not rude to me as a bartender, you are someone I will make the extra effort for. I have a particular bartender in general last night, 11:58, rang in a blackened chicken, I think, or a 7
Fuck
medium
out of
well.
here.
Yeah, 11:58.
Fuck out of here.
And I saw that it was her, and I was like, you know what, dude? She's never rude. She was always on point with us. She asks for things. She rings them in. I didn't say nothing.
You just made it happen.
I made it happen.
Yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't a well done New York.
Oh yeah. Wait, so
25
Frank,
minutes.
like, what are your red flags? I guess on the prep line when people are like coming at you crazy.
So we're going there.
I mean, it doesn't have to be specifically about bar prep, but like just prep in general.
Prep in general.
It can also be about the bar prep if that's a thing.
The biggest red flags is like the traditional cooks, prep cooks that we have are very very centered on a certain ways they want to do their thing.
Okay.
And whenever you try to come at them, they just take everything as offensive as possible.
Everybody's real personal. Everything's
very
real
personal, and they're just like, I don't want to hear it. Like, get out of my way. I'm done. Like, they're like, oh, you're wasting my fucking time.
Oh shit.
You know? So they're the quickest to come in and try to do their thing, and the quickest to get out. But then when it's not going their way, they're just like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like the way this person's talking to me. I don't like this. I'm like, okay.
I will say this though, whoever their eyes are is responsible for how their day is going. If whoever is setting up their counts, whoever is setting up who they need to do or need to prep isn't accurate with what they got going on and doesn't give them clear direction, that will also set up and mess up their day, right? So it's like you got to have a lot of trust, and like I've shared this with Bicho, is like I know what the par is and I get that, but 0.15 it, 0.25 it.
Always do
like,
10 more.
Like times it by that.
So we're gonna have to explain that for the lay people.
So, usually,
what's a par?
So what we have a system. Okay, so a par is basically what we have, and then the suggested consumption that is going to happen.
So in a given day, let's say a Thursday whole day, it'll say like we're probably going to use this amount of X product.
Yeah, we'll use this amount.
Okay.
So we'll use this amount. Projection is this. So you have to prepare for this. Right? Like a certain amount of number. So what we've been trying to do is just kind of get a good hone on what we need, what we have, and not have food waste.
Extra, yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it becomes a food cost. It becomes a labor cost, and it's a waste. It's literally a waste of time. So that's been a big issue all across the board with prep.
That's a segue though. So for example, yesterday, right? We have crab cake veg, right? Not your fault at all. Okay, so I had somebody make it. You're gonna have to edit that. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to edit it out. Someone was assigned to make it, right?
Okay.
They made a very small bulk of it.
Okay. A small bulk.
Small size of it, and then I had to have somebody make it again. So it was like passed on to 3 different people. But Jesus. So the thing is that certain items correlate with each other.
Right.
And people will like not correlate them with each other. And it's like if there's 50 of that, there has to be 50 of this because they sell together.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not the prepper per se, it's the eyes that be that need to count for that. Because if they're not counting,
I don't even know what that meant, but I'm gonna just ring it.
No, it's because it's
right.
they're going in blind. It's like sending in a soldier into war and not letting him know the hot spots.
Yeah.
If you don't know where your hot spots are, if you don't know who the good defenders are on like defense, let's take it for sports because more people could probably correlate with sports. Then like let's say if Kobe Bryant's going into a game and you have Ron Artest in there, and it's like you don't tell him, hey, Ron Artest is like the most vicious defender in the NBA. How are you gonna let him? How are you not gonna tell him, right?
Right.
So if you have the most high selling item, which let's say a 60 bulk of crab cake is normal, there needs to be a 60 bulk of the veg for it.
Like right, what sells with it?
What sells with it?
The item that the item that.
But
goes
if they're not
with it.
communicating together, which also doesn't go to the prepper, it goes to the lead.
Is what I would say is the biggest issue between front of house and back of house. Communication. It kind of fucking sucks.
And that's why when I get there, I notice the things, and I don't. And Frank, you could tell me if I'm wrong, or you could tell me if I'm not.
You're wrong.
I don't ever try to come sideways at the prepper.
Mm-mm.
But I do come sideways at the manager.
Right. And in my experience, all I can speak to is bar prep, because that's my most direct line to knowing how the prep system works.
Yeah.
Is that one, we change the fucking system every goddamn week. Like, so
Every day.
Every
not
day,
not
yeah.
to stop you, but I just want to say that this is the first restaurant that I've ever worked at where the prep team does the bar prep.
Right. And there's
usually
a lot of
bars have their own prep team.
right.
So why not bring somebody else an hour?
But
in
that
so
also
they can do
goes
their own
by,
prep?
Frank, the powers that be
Corporate.
that fucked with that. But not even that, man. Someone else took that idea and shoved it into their face, and they took with it.
Right, because my understanding is that at other stores under Redacted, it's the back house that does it. And then we slowly started kind of incorporating that downtown LA, and it just didn't really make sense. But we did it, and here we the fuck are. But
but
the difference is also that they would call in like an RA to come in.
What is an RA?
RA is a dishwasher. Come in, because technically from dishwashing you can either go to the line or you go to prep. That's like the next promotion if
Right.
they want to move up in the kitchen industry. So they would come in, we'll teach them like how to use a knife, of course, because some of them never used a knife.
Yeah.
So they'll go in, cut lemons, learn wedges, use the slicer, do batches for you guys and everything. But that's how we do it in other restaurants. Here, no.
At Redacted.
At Redacted,
Yeah.
no, they just divide it amongst our preppers who already have a busy,
shit ton of things to do.
shitload of things a day, a shitload of stuff to do already in their day.
Yeah.
And we're just adding more to it.
Yeah.
and not only that, they're adding like more items to my day as of.
Oh, it got real personal.
Yeah, they're adding more to my day. That's all I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
So, my thing is just like, if you hire one more bartender to, or just schedule another bartender to
Or
come
bar
in,
back.
or a bar
Someone that
back,
can learn the
or
batch,
someone
that
like
knows the
someone,
recipes.
and like if they don't have knife skills, we have a person that was in the dish area, like that learned how to use the knife,
Yeah.
and can do it, and they've grown and they've been line cooks, they've been prep cooks, they became sous chefs, they went on and do bigger and better things.
Yeah.
So why can't we train one person that's a bar back to do the same thing? Like, hey, I know you don't want to be here all day every day. Like, in the future, shit, you might open up your own fucking bar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have that mentality. If we could do it for the people in the back of house, we could do it in the front of house.
Yeah.
But it has to start somewhere.
Right.
And yeah, like it's so simple. Like, just grab another person, bring them in an hour earlier, have them do lemons and limes, teach them how to use the fucking slicer.
Yeah.
For the wheels, boom, done.
Yeah.
Completely done.
It could be easily done, but I do think it just speaks to a bigger issue. And I don't even think this is just Redacted, but like I think a lot of restaurants, communication between front of houses and back of houses
100%.
is always a little muddled and always a little just like off kilter, and just us trying to get on the same page causes a lot of unnecessary friction that could allow just for a much smoother shift, a much smoother just like system to running the restaurant, so that we can all focus and get on the same page about how to provide the best guest experience a lot of times.
And it also it's like a lot of the times it's a trickle down communication. So one person will say I need this, the other person will say I need that, and then it comes to us and it's like, oh, we need this, and it's like, oh, well, who did you talk to?
Yeah.
Well, I talked to this person. Well, you need to talk to this person because we're trying to set a standard.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's like 5 people involved in a conversation that it should be one-on-one or just one person.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell a lot of people a lot of times is like, trust me, just trust the senior partner, trust the senior person, whoever told you. And like sometimes that's colored, right? I could say that for myself. I mean, Frank, you functionally work salads, where salads is a little bit more helter-skelter.
Detailed.
So yeah, it's the sense of like you don't know how that day is gonna go, right?
Right.
So it's like, for example, though, for sauces, right? If there's a whole deep pan of grana padano, even if it's busy, even if we sold a $30,000 day in food, the chance of us selling that much grana padano is rare. It's very rare. but the chances of us using that much romaine is not, because people will order salads without sauces. People will order
Just
sub
romaine?
carbs. Some people will order just romaine. Some people will use the romaine to use for a steak. It's different, right? But I know for a fact there's times where people will come in and be like, "Hey, we only have this many," and I'll be like, "Do you know that it's 11 o'clock and that many is 46 orders?" Like, do your math before you talk to me. I don't want to be that mean, but it's like literally
No, 100%.
like just divide something really fast.
Well, and that's where I think communication is definitely key. Where it's like, if you tell me if we have so many reservations, then we could go from there. If we have a large party, if it's 30, 40, 50, whatever the case may be,
Or we're training on that station.
or we're and that's the one that's like the biggest thing is, a few last week 2 weeks ago I had a conversation with our head chef, and it was about training. I was like, hey, let me know like a day or 2 days before if we're having training. If not, my day is regular, my day is secure, my day is done, whatever. And then I get it the morning of, not even the morning of, like after putting all the fucking items away, putting all the produce away, and then getting hit with like, oh, by the way, they're training on your station. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
It ruins your routine.
it
ruins your day.
Yeah, my routine, my day, my everything. Go ahead.
I
know we're getting sidetracked.
No, you're good. I have a question. So we used to work at this place. Should I say the name? The last one, the one that's closing. Okay, so we used to work at Beauty and Essex.
Oh yeah, it's
Beauty and
closing.
Essex. Yes.
Oh shit,
It's closing.
What happened?
They ran out of money.
I believe just poor management.
Oh wow,
Poor management, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna blame it
they
on.
were like top notch for a while, right?
Big quotes on that one. So we were, bro. It was, yeah. I don't know. It was, anyways. So when we worked there, they would sit people down to like the last fucking minute, and I mean the last minute possible. Like we close at 12, party of 5 or 6 comes in. Yeah, we can sit them down. It's 11:55. Kitchen's already cleaned up. Have you guys ran into that, and how much does it piss you off? And do you ever just wish you could just be like, fuck no? Or do you guys have dishes put aside? Like, what do you do? How do you feel about it? And you can yell and vent if you need to, because as bartenders too, that pisses us off. It's like,
Hold on.
my ice is already burned.
Hold on. Can I start because I don't work the line at Redacted, but I used to work the line at another restaurant, and our restaurant used to close at 9 p.m. And on certain days we didn't have a cashier, so the owner would come in, and they would be our cashier and be bringing in items 5 to 10 minutes after we closed, and forced us to keep working. Like no, it's money, it's coming. And he would always say like, no, this is for you. I was like, no, it's not. This is for you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? So it would, like, I literally had to tell my coworker, I was like, you better bolt the fucking table down because I'm about to flip this bitch. I could not stand that motherfucker, dude. He was like I'm not gonna even talk about it. It's not important, but he used to ring in items like, oh, you need this, you need that. Sure. We got you. I'm like, bro, we've been here for fucking 10 hours. It's 90 degrees outside, plus like 90, maybe 100. It was Grand Central Market, so it was like during the summer.
Yeah.
So it was hot. It was fucking hot. So I'd be sweating my fucking tits because I got them now. I'd be sweating my fucking ass off. But seriously, I would be fucking sweating, and like, if it wasn't for the bandana that I had on my head, I'd be dripping sweat onto the food, you know? So I was like, man, you're a motherfucker. So to answer your question, fuck that. anyone that punches in a fucking order after the certain time, no, like I hate it. I mean, we'll do it. We have to. But
you don't.
do
if you just turn off the actual machine prints tickets.
I'll leave that up to them because they're the ones that work the line now.
That's what the bar does.
I personally don't mind it if you come talk to us and let us know, like, yo, this party came in. Just make sure you're rigging in the food fast. But like, they came and talked to us because sometimes certain time you tell us this is last call. We asked, hey, is that it? There's no more.
You guys are actually usually pretty good. Like you guys send someone around to ask
like
everyone.
We're like, is this like, that's it, right? That's the last bill. Cool. We turn off the fryers. We turn off the grill. We turn everything off. And then a couple of minutes later, they're like, you see something just pop into the screen. And you're just like, what is this?
The fuck is that?
Like, what is this? They're like, I thought it was last call. Well, we had this party come in. And we're like, well, no one told us. Like, my team's already taking their last tens and we're about to like get the hell out of here.
We're
like,
wrapping the fuck up.
What happened to the communication? You know, you told me that there was no one else in. Now, if you come with like respectfully come to us and tell us like, yo, we got this party in. But no, yeah, we'll do it. Like,
so for me on a Friday or Saturday night, it's so blended and so crazy. You're already going through it. That last night, for example, there was I think a 20 top that came in like around 11:15 or 11:20, right? You were there yesterday.
20 top at 11:40.
It was a pretty big table.
So here's the thing: I don't work at Redacted past 9:30.
Oh, okay.
So I'm never there.
Okay, so
yeah, I make it a point.
And then more people came in because the Bad Bunny concert.
Yeah.
I think the Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Laker game.
Also NAACP awards.
Yeah, and so NAACP. You had the Shoe Expo at the Nokia Center. You had a lot of things going on, right? So on a night like where you're already just in the shits, me and Will were actually the ones on the line, and it was just like, fuck it, whatever you guys are ringing in, just make sure you tell me, like, whatever it is, how many it is, and like just do it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Before you could just get it over with, because essentially, like, we haven't started our pre-close, we haven't started doing our necessary jobs, but essentially it's also the server that's like sometimes like, can I pretty please do this? And it's just like, it's like, dude, like, I want to say no, and like, and I want to be a mean person, but it's just like, I also have to be a leader in front of the team because that is the position and opportunity that I was given. So it was like, I have to pick the best two levels. Do I like it? Fuck no, I fucking hate it.
So one last thing before we wrap up. God damn it, I hate hearing myself. So, just gonna go around, starting with you, Joey. What is what's the one thing you love about being a chef in the back of the house, and what's one thing you hate? It would just be one word, 2 word, a sentence. We'll go around. We'll start with you.
Something that I love being with the team, being with my team members. It's like a sense of family. It's a sense of something I don't feel like I've had other than playing varsity sports since I was a freshman in high school. That was like the biggest thing of why I continue to come to work every day. It doesn't necessarily feel like work. It feels like I'm coming in to give people an experience and to also motivate myself and drive others to achieve what they think they can achieve. And then something that I hate about it is just the way people treat the industry. The people I feel like us as people should treat the industry as any other job, right? Like as any other corporation. But a lot of people come into restaurants as a pass by, so they never see, or they let the opportunities that could be pass them by because they're going after something that they're not motivated enough to do, and they don't understand what's right in front of them.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's like 2 things that I really love. It's like music and cooking, and both of them have to be, because I produce as well, so creativity comes into play. So when you're a chef, and you have time, even when you're at home, you can create your own dish, and the creativity level is like, that's what I love about it. And you could bring that to the table, you bring that to the restaurant, and just as much as it hurts at times when you're in the weeds, you're still like, like, I got this. It gives you a self-empowerment. Like, I fucking love this, And the thing that I hate about it is that there's certain people that don't bring that energy. And like he said, it's like people are just passing by and they're not fully there. And yeah, like if people have that sense of urgency, that sense of caring, everything would work. But it never works that way. That's just life. Ding ding ding.
I love that bell.
I'm gonna keep calling that.
Now for me, it's the team. It's the if you're like, it's all about the team for me. It's doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm at. I could be in Vegas and they call me up. I'll be like, yo, I'll be there in 4 hours, but I'll be there. And just being there, having their back, that's the most important thing. That's something I loved, and that's the respect and everything that I get off it. Something that I don't like, I think they just hit the nail with the hammer or the hammer with the nail. That it's there's just some people that just don't have that same mentality as you, or have that drive, or have that passion. Sometimes it's not even about the cooking, it's just the people that you're around with that make your day the greatest day ever, and make you want to wake up and like, yo, I'm there for you. I'll have your back no matter what.
Yeah. I just want to speak to the fact that, I mean, one, your leg is breaking down in front of us. That's fucking
mosh pits,
Yeah. But I mean, I just think the average person that thinks about cooks in the kitchen, right? I don't think they think about you guys and Will. They're just like the passionate people that like, this is like the passion of y'all lives. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times people think of cooks as like the people you guys are talking about who are just, they're just there, flash in the pan, like I'm just here for a paycheck. And it's just like, no, like this is like a career, and like the idea of creating food and creating experiences through dishes, through food, is something that people are very passionate about, just like it's what we do with our drinks. Like we've talked for 2 years now about specifically mostly drinks, and how like we create experiences for people through our craft cocktails and our drinks, and how you guys are doing that through the food, which is why we're so grateful to have you guys on to speak to that, because we've been just talking about fucking liquor for 2 years. And so to be able to talk to like what the passion you guys bring to just creating food for people, when so many people I don't think outside of that box of just the people you guys are talking about, the people that make your jobs a little bit more difficult, that they're just there for a paycheck, when you guys are there to create experiences for the family, for the camaraderie, is really fucking dope. And we just really appreciate having you guys on to speak to that, and to give people again that insight, because that's what the fuck this podcast is about, is giving people.
Let's go.
What's up?
I said, let's go.
Let's go. That's what this fucking podcast is about, is giving people that insight to the people that are giving passionate experiences for guests through, whether it be liquor, whether it be food, whether it be front door service, whether it be bussing tables, like that's what we're here to do, and that's what we're all about. And we just appreciate having you guys on to speak to that and give us that peek behind the curtains, give you some insight to what your local restaurant and or bar are doing. And that's what we like to call the
industry perspective. One more thing I will say, thank you guys for coming on. You definitely gave me a different view on chefs because of my experiences with chefs and just the shit that I see. Very, very negative shit, especially the shit that I see on TikTok too. It's like, damn, some of these chefs, man, egos and shit. But you guys and your perspective, and Will as well, you guys were great. So thank you for kind of changing my perspective and opinion too.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate
that was
man.
very hard.
Did they change your industry perspective?
I hate you. That's it.
Your fries are getting cold, by the way.
Thank y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Deuce.
Oh wait, no, we still
hold
have a
on.
little bit more. We still have a little bit more.
No.
Here we go.
Even though I'm not on camera for this, I do have a question for chefs.
Oh.
Is it a requirement to call you chef, or to say yes, chef? Thank you, chef. Chef, may I?
It's a term of respect. Right. Well, especially in a restaurant like the one that we work in, is there's such a large staff, so a lot of the times there's people coming in, there's people coming out. So the respectful way to approach it is to call somebody chef, because maybe you don't know their name, but the most of the time you just call them chef because you're such in a hurry that you're just like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. So you're like, chef, can you need this? Chef, do you need that? Chef, especially if you're in a station. Most of the time people change in the stations, so you don't know exactly where they're at. So rather than call out what station it is, you're just like, chef, do you need this? Chef, do you need that? Chef, do you need this? Or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's a term of respect.
Yeah, for me, I always say, I kind of don't like being called chef because I'm still a player of the game, still trying to learn more. And for me personally, I just like to be called Bicho for the same reason. And it's for me, it's you're always gonna learn. In the kitchen, you're always gonna grow. Just like I bet bartending, there's always so much that you can learn, you know. So I still just feel like Bicho will always be it.
Chef always feels awesome. It always feels awesome to be called chef, right?
That's
it always
what she
feels
said.
nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I never want to lose that personal level with people, because at the end of the day, it's never that serious.
I mostly ask that question because I've worked in places where even the chefs call each other chef and they still give that level of respect. But for people who have never worked back of house and never worked with chefs, they're always thinking like, oh, why do we gotta call them chef? Like, who do they think they are, and this and that? And it's like, okay, it's an earned title. And I think a lot of people kind of look at it negatively, as far as like, calling you chef is like calling you dad. It's like, daddy, may I have some fries, daddy?
I wish Will was here, because Will would have been like, yo,
Oh,
no one calls me puppy unless you're Mike. And you know,
Hey. So
that was my only
there's
question, man. But before I let it go, what's up, motherfuckers?
yo.
So
And I just want to say, we'll put a pin in this, and then y'all have to come on next time. But I want to know what y'all feel about like the portrayal of chefs in shows like Bear and whatnot. But we'll put a pin in that, and y'all got to come on next time to explain that, and we'll have a part 2.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Pay attention, motherfuckers.
do you know what it is?